everyone, welcome back to DRM News Global. We're diving into a pretty heavy topic today.
Yeah.
It's the Julie Stewart Binks lawsuit.
Right.
You know, the sports journalist. She worked for ESPN, Fox Sport.
Big name.
Huge name in the industry, and she's alleging sexual assault. It's a case that's really shaken things up, not just in sports, but I think it's having these ripple effects everywhere.
It is, and I think one of the things that makes it so important is that, it really highlights what women in these, especially in male-dominated fields like sports journalism, the challenges they face.
Absolutely.
And for someone like Julie to come forward, I mean, it's a big deal. And, the details in that lawsuit are serious.
Yeah, and they're really specific, too. Like she talks about, unwanted touching, advances, and it kind of paints this picture. It's like this power dynamic that a lot of people are saying has been, kind of an open secret in the industry.
Right. And we have to be careful, right? These are allegations.
Of course, yeah.
But they're serious. And, like other cases, it just shows how much courage it takes for someone to come forward. And it forces us to, look at the systems that allow this kind of behavior to go on.
And that's where, the #MeToo movement just feels so relevant here, doesn't it?
Huge. I mean, #MeToo was global, right?
Yeah.
But we're still seeing how it's playing out in different areas. In this case, I think, it could set a precedent in sports media. It could change things.
Yeah.
Will we see more protections for women? Will hiring practices change? I mean, these are the questions.
Totally. And for, our listeners who might not be super familiar with the legal side of things, what happens next? What can we expect?
Well, typically you go into a discovery phase,
Yeah.
right? Gathering evidence could be witness testimonies, emails, all sorts of stuff. It can take a while.
Right.
Then you have to see, does it go to trial or is there a settlement? And each path, has its own consequences.
I don't know, it's almost like this weird mix of fascinating and terrifying to think about where this could lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can't isolate this case. It's not just happening in sports. We've seen it in Hollywood, politics, even academia. And each time it pushes the conversation forward,
Yeah.
How do we create accountability? How do we make things safer?
And for me, what's really striking is that it's not just about the people involved. It's about a whole culture,
It is this idea of silence, this fear of what will happen if you speak up. It's very real.
Right.
But we're also seeing a change. There's more of a willingness to say, no, we're holding people accountable, institutions accountable. And this case could be, a turning point for sports journalism.
A turning point, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a conversation we can't stop having. And, thank you so much for joining us today on DRM News Global. We're going to keep following this story, keep you all updated on what it means for sports and beyond.
Absolutely.
And for all of you listening, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? What questions do you have? Let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for tuning in.